So we have no shortage of gaslighting in 2020 and specifically around the pandemic. But what really takes the cake, in my view, is that Fox News has now started to pretend that they never downplayed the virus, that they never said it was a hoax, that they never said it was a great time to get on an airplane or to go to a restaurant because there wouldn't be anybody else there. They are pretending they never gave platforms to any right-wing clowns that wanted to minimize the virus and defend President Trump. And they are now trying to revise history, much like Donald Trump has tried to do. And they are doing it because they're starting to get sued for having spread coronavirus disinformation. Here's Sean Hannity. Remember, Hannity famously put up an image a few weeks ago bragging about coronavirus deaths zero. Here's Hannity the same night ridiculing everyone who took this seriously from day one.
Tonight, I can report the sky is absolutely falling. We are all doomed. The end is near. The apocalypse is imminent, and you're going to all die, all of you, in the next 48 hours. And it's all President Trump's fault.
Here's Hannity again downplaying it on March 9th.
In all seriousness, I think we've got to be very real with the American people. I don't like how we are scaring people unnecessarily. And that is that unless you have an immune system that's compromised and you are older and you have other underlying health issues, you are not going to die 99% from this virus, correct?
That's correct, Sean. And it's good to be with you again.
All right, so that's the point. I mean, they're scaring the living hell out of people, and I see it again as like, oh, let's bludgeon Trump with this new hoax.
That was Republican bomb-throwing Trump sycophant Congressman Doug Collins very much agreeing with Sean Hannity's assessment, but most importantly, Hannity actually calling it a hoax. Now, here's Hannity 11 days later saying he was always taking it seriously.
Yeah, and I think what we're looking
kind of laugh at it, but nothing to laugh at here. By the way, this program has always taken the coronavirus seriously, and we've never called the virus a hoax. We call what they're doing, trying to bludgeon the president out. Their politicizing of this virus, well, predictable, despicable, repulsive, all of the above.
Here are other segments from Fox News, including Janine Pirro saying coronavirus is proof merely of an anti-Trump agenda, Hannity calling the virus a political weapon, the now fired host Trish Regan, we'll get to her later, saying the left is stoking chaos, Laura Ingraham saying the virus is a leftist smear campaign, and on and on and on. Here's lunatic Jesse Waters downplaying it on March 3rd.
You want to know how I really feel about the coronavirus, Juan? If I get it, I'll beat it. I'm not lying. It's called the power of positive thinking, and I think America needs to wake up to that. I'm not afraid of the coronavirus, and no one else should be that afraid either.
And then here's the same Jesse Waters, not even a month later, on April 1st, pretending he was always taking it seriously, but there were some Democrats who weren't taking it seriously.
Cuomo was saying, go eat out in New York City. De Blasio had all the schools open. Nancy Pelosi said, bring your friends to Chinatown and go to the bars. Joe Biden said the travel ban was racist. Every column in the New York Times, the Washington Post downplayed this thing. And actually, Morning Joe had the audacity the other day to say that everybody saw this coming in January. Do you know how many segments Morning Joe did on the virus in January? One. They booked a guy who said, don't worry about this virus, worry about the flu. Finally, everyone's on board. Young people, old people, left, right. We're all in this together now, and we need to stay together until we beat it.
So now Jesse Waters saying he was one of the few people taking it seriously all along. They are now gaslighting. We could do examples of this all day long. And they're simply taking the lead from Trump. This is what you have to really understand about this entire sort of echo chamber. For weeks, Trump downplayed the virus. And so did Fox News. So did Rush Limbaugh. So did everybody. Now, Trump is pretending he never downplayed it, pretending he always took it seriously, pretending he always knew it was going to be a pandemic. I think he said last week he knew it was a pandemic before it was even being said publicly. And so now Fox News is doing the exact same thing. They're very predictable caricatures, in a sense, truly sad state of affairs in the country. But all of this is completely predictable. When it comes down to knowledge and facts and thinking, this was exactly what we would have assumed that they were going to do. And of course, the real concern, the serious issue at the tail end of this, whenever we get to it, is that they may get away with it. They have a confident, dishonest ignorance, is the kind of best way I can summarize it. They are dishonest. They are ignorant to the facts, but they do so confidently on their airwaves. And unfortunately, unless we have a long memory, they may not suffer because of it. And so my greatest fear is, of course, that the death toll will be so much higher than it needed to be because of the terrible response from the president and the terrible responses that we saw from the right-wing media that basically just play to Trump's base. That's concern number one, the death toll. Once it's all said and done, and it's time to decide, are we reelecting Trump or are we voting him out? I worry that that confident, irresponsible, ignorant dishonesty will lead to too many people saying, would have been worse without Trump, let's vote to reelect him. And that is genuinely an increasing fear that I have because of the degree to which that cultish following of Trump is convinced that he's been doing the right thing all along. We'll keep following it and trying to make the case that that is not the situation.